Hello. This video will focus on microeconomic environment. If you had paid attention to the syllabus on BT, there are two major parts of economy which you are expected to really be very comfortable on, and this is one of them. The next one is macro, which I will look into in the next video. However, for this one, I'm going to focus on microeconomic environment. And the summary is, why is it called micro? I'm sure you know micro means small, and macro is slightly bigger. Small in the sense that the coverage is not as wide as what macro covers. So micro only covers individuals. So we're looking at the economy of individuals and companies. By the time we are looking at macro, we'll be looking at the entire national economy. So this is a country and even the world in its entirety. That's what we'll be looking at. So what I want to do in this video is to summarize it in such a way that you never have to worry about it, because I know this is a part of economics that most students don't like, even my financial management students, because this cut across so many papers in your journey of ACCA. So please pay attention and make sure that you understand it perfectly. Like I said, this focuses on individuals and companies, and that is why mostly what we'll be talking about under microeconomy is to be talking about things around supply and demand. So basically, we'll be looking at supply and demand a lot. That's what I'm going to be summarizing here. And where I'm going to start from is demand. And what is demand? Demand is just your willingness to buy a product at a particular price. So your wish is not a demand. Please take note. Your dream is not a demand, because you might wish to buy a private jet today. You don't have the money to buy it. It's just a wish. It's just a dream. It's not a demand. But when you are ready and you're willing to buy at the price, then it becomes a demand. Please take note. And that is what demand is all about. However, there are factors that will influence what you can demand. So what are the factors influencing demand? One of them is what I specifically mentioned now: price of a product. If you cannot afford it, you cannot demand it. It's as simple as that. Likewise, your income. If you are earning so much, so the higher the price here, the lower the demand. So this is directly proportional. Let me write it in mathematical terms so that you can summarize it and easy to understand. So price of a product, like you said, what you need to know is that the higher the price, low demand, because not so many people will be able to afford the product. Not many people who can buy a private jet. So high price means low demand. Then that means in maths, if you like mathematics, means price is indirectly proportional to demand, because when the price is high, demand will be low. So they are not directly proportional. But income is your salary. If you are earning so well, you will be able to afford so many things. So high income means high demand. In that case, they are going in the same direction. So income, rather, is directly proportional to demand. They are on the same level, not 1 over. Remember, this is 1 over demand, right? So take note of that. Also, another factor you need to take note of is the price of substitutes. and think about Coke, that drink, versus Pepsi. If the price of Pepsi becomes very cheap, what happens to Coke? If Coke does not bring down their price, people will stop buying Coke and buy more of Pepsi. So what happens is, because Pepsi is a substitute to Coke, then means the price of substitute will also affect the demand of Coke. So the lower the price, or the higher the price, let's stick to the higher the price so you get it straight and you tweak it the opposite. So the higher the price of substitute, so if you have high price of substitute, which means if Pepsi is super expensive, then there will be high demand for the product, which is Coke. Yeah. So if the substitute is expensive, then people will go for the other product. Yeah, and if the substitute becomes very cheap, then people will go for the substitute. Right. So remember, this is slightly related to the price we're talking about here. Because when price is high, demand is low. So if high price of substitute, that means the demand for substitute will be low. So low demand for the substitute. And when there is low demand for substitute, it means there will be high demand for the other product, the original product. Here, Coke, for example. Right. So the last one is the taste. Your taste also matter, which is influenced by your income, by your environment, by your culture, and so many things. Like if you go to Arab countries now, you'll notice probably that demand for things like suits, ties, might not be as much as you will see demand for suits and ties in the UK. Yeah. And likewise, the Arab dresses and all of that, if you bring them down to the UK, the demand will also be low, because the taste of the people here in the UK is not for those kind of clothes, and that is what taste does to you. Likewise, some people believe that they have so much high taste that they cannot drive a car that doesn't have a premium speaker. So if the speaker is not boom, like the bass is high and all of that, they cannot drive a car. So that will affect the kind of car they will buy. So your taste is very important. So those are the 4 factors you need to understand about demand, and I call it PIPT. Yeah, PIPT. Talking about the price of the product, price of the substitute, income, and taste. Right. So that is the factors affecting demand. Now, quickly, let's talk